This conference will now be recorded.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to note that you already have a quorum. You have 6 communities and an extra member from Winchendon, so you're legal to proceed at 7, sir. Okay, do you have the app up?
Yeah.
Can you, okay, I'm going to mute.
Yeah.
Okay, mute. But we're okay over here. Sorry, folks, that was the last time. We're trying to work out a hardware glitch. We're not going to do that again. Mr. Chairman, it's over to you whenever you want to start, sir. Brad, can you put the drones back up, please? Put those back up, please. It was a
Can you
joke,
hear
Brad.
me?
I'm sorry,
It's a joke.
Glenn, what did you want? Glenn, what
I
did
was
you
just
want?
joking. I was asking you to put the drones back up. I was just joking, man. Guy, you're on twice. If you're on 2 devices, we're gonna have to mute one of them.
Should not be on twice. It's on my computer, but because I'm not on the phone or anything. I'm just trying to see what I get here. Why do I come up on the camera twice or?
We can see you twice. Are you on the phone also?
Oh, no, I'm not. That's the funny thing. Tell you because it's go to meeting. Hate to say it, I'm going to jump out of one of these. You don't happen to have me killed, Glenn?
Okay, that should work out better. All set, guy. Looks like Guy left. We're gonna wait him to re-sign on, folks, and then we'll get going. Please bear with us.
Can you hear me now? I'm coming in on my phone. I guess not.
We got you.
Okay, very good. And I'll just use my computer for the files. While I was gone, did we start the meeting?
We can
Not
start.
without you.
Let me try another item. Here, the only problem, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, good. I can hear you great. Okay, if everybody's there, the only problem I might have is calling the roll when it comes to votes. So the first item is to open the Montechusett Regional Planning Commission meeting for Thursday, August 5th, 2021 at 7:05. First item, open the meeting, is introductions. Do we want to go around in introductions, or can you take care of that, Brad? Because I can't, because I'm using the phone, can't deal with it as well.
Okay.
Or I can actually.
I go by the chat. I mean, by the guest list here.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing
Right.
also. Do you want to take it, or shall I go back to it?
It's your call, whichever one you want.
Okay, I'll go. Okay, Brad Harris.
Here.
Alan Pease.
Here.
Lynn Butlin.
Here.
Bill O'Keefe. Oh,
Here.
Bluff, I'm sorry.
No, it's Elfie, but I'm here.
Okay, it's very small on the phone. So Glenn Eaton?
Glenn Eaton's here, not a member.
No. Oh, I'm just giving a roll call now for everybody who's in attendance. Well, actually, I don't need to do that. So let's go right to Jacqueline Doherty.
Here.
Jeff Bennett.
Yes.
Jessica DeRoy.
Here.
Laura Schifrin.
Here.
Rick Ward. He's there. Roger Hoyt.
Here.
And Stacy Donahue.
Here.
Okay, I see.
Sorry.
Great,
Hello with the
great.
mute.
No problem. Hey, with the problems I've had with the technology, I can be patient with anybody. Okay, very good. Any announcements? Well, I just want to make an announcement that I am trying to broadcast from the Winchendon Historical Society because I also do tours here before and after the meeting, but it didn't seem to work out too well. But if anybody would like to come and see our 21-room mansion, I'm sorry, chock full of stuff, we're open Thursday nights from 6 to 9 and Sundays from 1 to 4. So everybody is invited. So that's my announcement. Okay, the next item in the agenda is the approval of July 15th, 2021 minutes.
Guy, I got a question. This is
Sure.
Bill Elfie. Shirley,
Okay, Bill, yes.
I wasn't at that meeting, but my counterpart was on there, Barbara Yoakum at the time. When she looked at the minutes, she was questioning one thing and wanted me to bring it up this month. And that was part of the minutes was talking about the people who had retired and promoted. And she was questioning why it was just their title and not their name. They'd been working there a long time. Maybe they deserve their names in the minutes versus just their title. Doesn't matter to me, but she wanted me to bring it up.
We'll add their names. That's easy. That's a great point. We'll add their names. Thank you. Wonderful.
Okay.
Okay, great. Any other comments, questions about the minutes? Not hearing any, I'd entertain a motion to accept the minutes as printed.
I will make that
moved.
motion with the addition of the names as mentioned.
Okay, very good. I take it that's Laura Schifrin.
Yes, sorry, I didn't announce myself.
Okay, no problem. Do I have a second?
Second, Bill
Jackie
Alke,
Doherty.
Shirley.
Okay,
Okay, Bill, get in there first.
that's okay.
Okay, good. Okay, very good. If there's not any other questions, I'll call the roll. None? Hearing any? Alan Pease.
Same.
Lynn Butland.
Yes.
Bill Olefke.
Aye.
Jacqueline Doherty.
Aye.
Jeff Bennett.
Yes.
Jessica DeRoy.
Yes.
Laura Schifrin.
Yes.
Rick Ward, why don't you vote instead of me? Okay, I guess not. So Roger Hoyt.
Aye.
And the chair, Guy Corbisaro, votes aye, so they're accepted unanimously. Next item on the agenda is the cash schedule for July 2021. And we need approval of the commissioners. So Laura, would you like to take this?
Yes, yes, I will.
Okay, very good. Our treasurer, Laura, thank you.
Our cash schedule for July 1st through July 31st to be reported on this meeting date is our opening balances, which includes 6 of our cash accounts. It's $369,579.63. You can see the further cash receipts have to do with each of the towns and what we're getting paid for each of the duties being done. And that with the interest is $113,628.77. So the total cash before the warrant is $483,208.40. The cash warrant or disbursements is $141,520.46. And that it was on your second page, most of which is the payroll at $100,349.42, and the other checks and debits that equaled $41,171.04. So that's the total expenses of the $141,520.46, leaving us a balance after the warrant of $341,687.94. And that is, I mean, I reviewed it. I don't see anything out of line on it. And I think this is typical for this time of year.
Yeah.
Any questions? None? Mr. Chairman, can we get a motion to accept the cash schedule for July as presented?
Absolutely. Now, I just want to mention to everybody, if you are not going to be speaking, please mute yourself. We're getting a little bit of feedback. I'm not sure if it's just me or everybody, but okay. If there's no objection, I'll call a roll. We'll start with Alan Pease.
Think you need a motion and a second, please?
Okay, I'm sorry, thank you. Do I have a motion? And that would be,
Jackie? Doherty.
okay, very good. Jacqueline Doherty, and do I have a second?
Alan Pease.
Okay, a second by Alan Pease. Any other questions about the schedule? If not, I'll call a roll. Alan Pease,
Aye.
Lynn Butland,
Yes.
Bill Olefsky,
Aye.
Jacqueline Doherty,
Aye.
Jeff Bennett,
Yes.
Jessica DeRoy,
Yes.
Laura Schifrin,
Yes.
Roger Hoyt,
Yes.
I see Sean Copeland,
Yes.
and Stacy Donahue.
Yes.
Okay, and the cash schedule is accepted, subject to audit. Okay, the next item on the agenda. Actually, I got myself in a little pickle here. I had to plug my phone in, so hold on one second. Okay, there we go. I think I've got it all. Now I have my computer in front of me. Okay, the next item is administrative matters. So that's Glenn's department. Glenn?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Under
You're
item
welcome.
4.1, I've been keeping the commissioners informed every month of basically our office-based management and safety. The most important takeaway there is after the first paragraph under 4.1, there's something in bold that says the Federal Centers for Disease Control has issued new mask guidance, which will be implemented on site. They're actually on my computer, I have their guidance up on the screen. Basically, they are saying, look, if you're vaccinated, you have the option to wear your mask inside. To me, that's a signal to let people know, look, the cases are starting to increase slightly, so protect yourself. And they're certainly basically saying, look, if you're unvaccinated, we strongly recommend that you wear masks. So that's the gist of it. I'm going to copy and paste some of the stuff from the Centers for Disease Control, make a couple of posters or so, or 5 or 10 of them. I'm going to post them on the doors for the people that visit us and move on from there. So that's item 4.1. If there aren't any questions, I can move to 4.2.
I don't see any questions, Glenn. Please move
Okay.
forward.
Then I'll move on. Sure. 4.2 is basically the State Retirement Systems Act. Basically, we are filing legislation. There's really not a lot of new information other than the legislation is winding its way through the legislature on Beacon Hill. There was a public hearing by the Joint Committee on Public Service on Wednesday, July 28th. Several planning commissions filed testimony on all of our behalf, or our collective behalf, I should say, to see if we can get our legislation passed. So the retirement payments for employees when they retire stays in the state budget and doesn't hit the RPA's collective budgets. That's the quick update. It's okay, I'll move on to 4.3. There's a reasonable amount of information there on the regional Shirley block grant program. And what's going on here is there's a paragraph toward the bottom of page 3 that talks about the Micro Enterprise Assistance Program. It's basically a very small business grant program for up to $25,000. We've had over 25 inquiries. We've emailed and contacted over 600 or 700 businesses by email, by DBA certificates from people, town clerks that have supplied us email addresses, such as people like Bill Elke of the town of Shirley. Bill, thank you for that. we're getting very little response. A lot of people are saying, look, it's just too complicated of a program. They are obtaining funds from other sources, such as PPE and the USBA loans. We're looking at 3 right now to see if any of those qualify. That's the gist of that. Under the Food Bank Assistance Program, I've monitored 2 of the 3 food bank providers in Lunenburg and Shirley. They're doing a great job, and I'm getting their low mod income compliance information as long as they're in addition to their receipts, so we can do drawdowns to pay them for their services. That program is going very well. I applaud the efforts of the food banks in Shirley, which is Loaves and Fishes at Devon's. The Lunenburg Lions Club is great, doing a great job in the town of Lunenburg, and so is Townsend Ecumenical Outreach in Townsend. Kim Craven, her husband, and many other parties have been doing that. So they're all doing really, really good work. I just, that's the status of that regional CDBG program. 4.4, the strategic planning update. I shelved that so we can go through our staff transitions that we've been going through. As I indicated last month, John Hume's no longer with us. Karen Chapman has been promoted to Planning and Development Director. And now we need to advertise, and I'm going to get the advertising out by tomorrow, and advertise for, it's going to be a blanket. Think of a trolley. Guy, could you mute? I'm getting feedback. So we're advertising to hire at least a principal planner. I'm drawing a larger net to, and someone else needs to mute. Anybody who's not talking, could you mute, please? I'm still getting feedback. So basically doing an advertisement to get someone to follow Karen, and maybe get some more interns also on board to increase our staff capacity. We have a lot of work to do over the DLTA program and some EDA and some other local contracts, such as with Sterling and some others by the end of this calendar year. The MEC information 4.5. So we reached out to the MEC members of the board of directors this morning. Holly, thank you for helping me with that. And we polled them for their availability for a meeting in September. And we received some feedback. Now, at least three of the members of the executive committee of the MRPC are new members of MEC's board of directors by our bylaws. I put an email out there today when we emailed to ask for your availability, that I'm available to provide you with either phone, Teams, online, in person, however you want to do it, some background on the MRPC affiliate, Montezut Enterprise Center, Inc. The meeting will be held in September. We'll let you know by next week when the meeting date and time will be. We'll do some due diligence to get you trained before that meeting. We're talking about a 1-hour lunch meeting or a 1-hour 7 o'clock meeting in the evening, whatever the majority wants. It's an annual meeting. It's not a lot of frills. It's basically an update of what we've done in the past year with MEC, not a lot because of COVID. And then in October, we'll provide a report to the MRPC, the board, commissioners, I should say, on what MEC met about, basically planning for the future. Other administrative matters under 4.6.1, housekeeping additions to the personnel policies and employee procedures handbook. So what you have tonight, and Brad, if you'd be so kind to pull up the landscape spreadsheet, very small writing. I'm going to trust you to, I know you're going to maximize it. And actually, Bob, you have a copy here in the atrium to make it a little easier. You got it? Okay, great. So my due diligence was to promise you a spreadsheet. And Brad, feel free if you would, just to kind of, Brad, in the middle of your screen, I'm looking at C, administrative matters, and then it starts with 1 business hours, 2 work week, 3 flexible work. If you can maximize on that area, keeping some of the X's to the right, that can be blown up a little bit, and then we can just focus on that area. I just want to give people the gist, and we can go left to right. So we can just follow something over like C, administrative matters. And if you look under, and if you can scroll a little bit, Brad. Thank you, sir. Wonderful. You're reading my mind literally. So if you looked at C, administrative matters, Brad is highlighting that. Brad, could you highlight number 1, business hours? And then Brad, if you just scroll to the right, we'll show people just to give them the gist. What we're doing here is the check marks to the right. The first column is, no edits needed. The second column is some edits needed to a section, like with business hours, and then the third column of X's is more substantial edits. And then the fourth column is delete, as in delete the policy. So you'll see one X over there way on the right, and that's probably attributable to the comp time policy that we deleted in, I think, June. Nope, that's children in the workplace. So this is my first cut at the policies. Brad, if you can, we can move from the spreadsheet. Can you move to the PDF that has the actual personnel policies and employee procedures handbook? That's it. And if you would go to, Brad, if you just go like the page, it doesn't matter, page 5 or 6 or 7, something where there's some red. If you go to page 9, please. Let me be more direct. So it's in the public domain tonight. We are reading of a 76-page document. So if you want to go down a little bit more, Brad, I want to get to the point that says item number 1, equal opportunity policy statement, and then 2, MRPC representatives, employees. Brad, just go to you find some red. Or did they not take in the PDF? Basically, folks, okay, there's something in green. So these are some comments I made about a section. Basically, I have track changes on. I'm going through the policy and putting my fingerprints on what I think we should tweak. The themes of the corrections are mostly about eliminating circular references from past authors because there was some repetition. There's only 1 or 2 policies I'm recommending deleting, and the vast majority of my recommendations are making the policies a lot more clear. It's clarity, and that's really the takeaway. I did reach out to the HR consulting firm, Employers Association of New England. We are a member. We pay a subscription of about $800 a year. I reached out to them. They offer services to do policy reviews, overhauls, however you want to look at it. They're going to provide a quote soon. We need professional help to do this correctly. So I'm going to, call around and say we'll get some quotes and see what people are charging. I will ask EANE also if they have lawyers on staff to do legal review of policies. I want to make sure that all of our legal citations in here, for example, are correct. For example, we referenced the open meeting law, the conflict of interest law. And when I read that last night, I noticed that our statutory references to the open meeting law and the conflict of interest law are the same law. Well, I don't think they are. So I think that was just a copy and paste in a typo. So you always want to, every 5 to 10 years, you want to overhaul your policies and make sure they're okay. That's the gist of this. This is going to be a 3 or 4 planning commission meeting event, if you will, by the time we look at this. This is a planting of a seed. If you like reading personnel policies, you are more than welcome. This is a public document, and it's more public as it's online. We'll get a consultant. We'll have the professional help get this done. The last time we did this was about 10 to 13 years ago with attorney Mark Goldstein, and he helped us. In those days, the attorney used to come to our meetings all the time, and he just worked. And now it's Judge Mark A. Goldstein. Exactly. The Honorable Mark Goldstein is no longer available to us, but we have attorney Mark Bedanza. That's the gist of it, folks. So I hope to get a consultant, get this done right. I will say that, in the next 4 to 5 years, I'm looking at a retirement date. I want to make sure that, like Linda did before she left, she did a lot of cleaning of human resources and processes and procedures. And I'm trying to do the same thing. And I want to take those 4 to 5 years and expend my time properly. If there aren't any questions on that, the next item is 4.
Wise move on one adopted. It's a wise move.
Bob said, Bob Schwartz is in here, and he said it's a wise move if you couldn't hear him. So I think he's thanking all the staff for contributing, because the staff will be involved also, just like they were 12 years ago when I said there will be a dress code. I didn't write it in 3 seconds. I asked for a year of input, and we got it done. So 4.6.2 is the next. We try to do this once a year. We didn't do this last year, where we put out a schedule. COVID really put us off track on a few things. We're trying to get us back on track. As a courtesy, in June or July, we throw out the fiscal year's meeting dates. And if people see something in there, we meet on the first Thursday of every month. And if somebody sees something in there like, September might be September 2nd, that's a Thursday, but that's before Labor Day. we're not having a lot of holiday conflicts like we used to, unless you're really around Independence Day. So that's just an FYI. I'm not asking for any action on this item or the above items or any items, I don't believe, this evening. This is an FYI. Hope it helps. 4.6.3. So now that John's no longer here, Karen is our Planning and Development Director. John would do the US EPA Brownfield Site Assessment Grant. This is for informational purposes. Basically because I was doing John's job before I was promoted and I hired John back in the 07 window. I'm very familiar with the Brownfield Site Assessment programs and their RLFs. So all I'm doing is just trying to pinch hit and help Karen out a little bit. The bottom line is that this grant has been going fairly well. We have a consultant that does literally 90% of the work. They get 90% of the funding. And there are some tasks that were not addressed and not completed that I need to catch up on. And I just found out about those a few weeks ago. So what we're going to do is catch up on those tasks. And we want to get this done by 9/30 this year or 12/31 of this year. This grant goes until 9/30 of 2022. But we'd much rather get it done. It's a 3-year term. We'd much rather get it done in 2 years and ideally apply for more funds this fall or winter. So that's the game plan. I'll let you know how the game plan works. Once the football's kicked, sometimes plans have to get amended. We'll see what happens. I'm rounding third and I'm heading home, folks. 4.6.4 US EDA for the Med and SEDS. So I asked Chris McDermott, our Economic Development Manager. We held a series of meetings on Tuesday, yesterday, Wednesday, and today. And these are concerning multiple notices of funding opportunity, or NOFOs, and that's the language of the federal government. There are about 7 notices of funding availability that are all coming out of the latest federal legislation for Build Back Better and planning and economic adjustment assistance. So the latest major piece of federal legislation that was passed, I'm going to call it, there was the CARES Act under former President Trump, and then there was a December Act under former President Trump. There's the Biden Act #1. Please don't quiz me on the name, but I'm just going to call it Build Back Better. And there's a lot of funding here, and we're having meetings right now almost every day with our colleagues across the state to try to position the Commonwealth in such a way that we're trying to maximize as many funds as we can get from the Federal Economic Development Administration to help our regional economies as they have suffered under the pandemic-related economic downturn. That's a hint. We'll provide more information in future Med and SEDS meetings in the near future, no later than September. The last thing is just a shout out to really Brad, 4.6.5 MassDOT compliant planning agreement. So with the departure of George Kahale, we have transit tasks to do. We don't have a MART transit planning contract, but we do still have some transit planning tasks to do under, I'm going to call it Brad's MassDOT combined planning agreement. There's transportation planning and transit planning. And Brad has already done due diligence for the last 30 or 40 days to get at least one of his staff or 2 of his staff on board with addressing at least one of the tasks. And Brad and I are going to talk, Brad doesn't know this. Hey, Brad, we're going to talk Monday again on that topic, and we'll address tasks 4.1, 4.2, 4.3. I know you're working on all these. I just need to get up to speed with you, sir. The same morning, I got to get up to speed with Karen Chapman on some planning and development work. That's it for admin update. No votes, just simple, straightforward, to the point. And I am done unless there are any questions. Mr. Chairman, back to you, sir.
Very good. Thank you, Glenn. Yeah, first meeting after the year they're pretty quiet. So any questions of Glenn before we move on? Still working on my little setup here. So next item here is our status reports. What I usually do is I go through them. I'll go through them again. Pretty much the same if everybody has read them. And I just want to mention that all these documents, again, Glenn was talking about the personnel documents. Holly sent them out this afternoon. So if you want to check them out, they're on the links that she sent out. Okay, first in the status report is 5.1, Geographical Information Systems. Mr. Mapper and mobile apps. Second item, community related things, air parcel update. The chair of Crocker Pond Recreation Committee reached out and asked to discuss some edits for trail maps. I think we had mentioned that. And there's a lot of GSI things here. If anybody sees things related to their town, have questions, please give it and ask, and somebody will answer it. If not, we'll move on to comprehensive planning related. ADA compliance checklist survey creation. Athol exchange sheet at Butters map. Okay, moving down, again, GIS staff has taken a lot of this on. My computer is not moving as fast as my mouth, but if nothing there, we move on to transportation related. Data collection and analysis program. Fitchburg corridor study. I don't know if anybody noticed about the Fitchburg Leominster bike path. They're ready to put the bridge over Route 2. It's been sitting there for a while if you go up and down it. Yeah, I think that's in September now. They've postponed it till. And then we move on to transit related. MART Human Services Transportation Brokerage Area Map. MART Intercity Shuttle Map Update. GIS working on that again. MART Wachusett Shuttle Route Update. Interesting. I drove that last night. Planning and development, 5.2 we move on to if there's no question in the transportation area. Planning and development, comprehensive planning division. Our first item on there is Federal Economic Development Administration. ED award, also referred to as the MRPC's ED Annual Planning Grant. And under that, task 1, MEC Inc. project planning. I think Glenn has touched on that previously. And they have status reports here on such as no progress on this task to report. So on each task, they are now giving a status report from I see here. Task 2, provide municipal technical assistance preparing communities and economic development grant requests. Again, status on that is MRP staff are working with the town of Townsend to submit an ADA planning grant and application. Task 3 under this, continue increasing public and private sector participation on the Montechusett Brownfields group. No progress. I like those little points of giving a status now instead of just mentioning the program. Task 4, maintain the regional SEDS. Status, seek report for EDA COVID award below. And anything on this, like it says, contact Karen Chapman, Planning and Development Director, for any of these programs. Then the Federal Economic Development Administration, EDA award. And then they have a list of tasks under that. I won't go through them. But if anybody has questions, please speak up. I'll pause to give a moment while I scroll. Then we get to number 3, Federal Environmental Protection Agency, Montechusett Regional Brownfield Assessment Program. Again, status they list there. Number 4, District Local Technical Assistance. Here, MRPC has executed a contract with the Massachusetts Department of Housing and Community Development, DHCD, and this is the 14th year. Please, anybody have a question? No? Okay, Ashburnham, Land Use Master Plan Chapter. And it mentions the team leader on that. Ashburnham MRPC will work with local officials to correct and improve the current zoning map, and it has a status there. Our contract is fully executed. And that's under Karen Chapman. Again, she's the team leader, along with Jason Ashburnham again, infrastructure mapping. There, create build-out study for parcels, all these different programs that they're working on. Might give you an idea on a program. Harvard, MRPC will create a sustainable transportation plan. Hubbardston, Town Center Overlay District bylaw. Lancaster, 40R District Development, Village District bylaw. Then we have Leominster, Neshoba Regional Greenways there. This project involves managing public outreach. Petersham, Nichawah Inn and Academy redevelopment evacuation. Probably butchered that, but they do have status there. Royalston, MRPC will continue to work to prepare a bylaw for assisted living and multifamily housing. Shirley will assist the feasibility of all of the creation of as of right zoning district, such as those eligible under the Mass Department of 40R Smart Growth status. Sterling, MRPC will complete a streamlined permitting guideline. Townsend, doing maps and they've been finalized. Community health needs assessment. Report for Haywood Group and Health Alliance UMass Memorial. Again, MRPC is contracted with the Haywood Group. Contracted. Okay, and the team leaders on that is Blair Hanley. Then we move into Massachusetts Department of Transportation, Mass DOT, Winchendon Volunteer Drive Planning Project. On this one, the Massachusetts Enterprise Center, MEC was awarded $24,000 by Mass DOT to create a plan for a volunteer drive initiative in the town of Winchendon, and MRPC is conducting the work. This contract ended June 30th, 2021, and they're developing. This is Glenn Eaton. Since I am from Winchendon, I will have a question. When do you think this will be finalized, Glenn?
On number 11, Mass.
11, yeah, the Winchendon Volunteer Drive Planning Project.
So the short answer is that I know that Karen and Jonathan are working now on tying up loose ends. Karen is not here this evening. She's actually at a meeting somewhere else. So I have to defer to her on what the status is today. So I don't have an answer. The short answer is I don't know, but I can get you an answer Monday when she's back in the office. She's out tomorrow.
Okay, great, or I'll just contact Karen. Either way, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
And that's it. That's the things I mean. If you see something about the community that you're with, quick and easy question. Number 12, Sterling Complete Streets. Contract amount $38,000. Contracts ends the end of the month. And it has a status on it. Then we go to 13, Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs, Planning Assistant Grant. And this contract had just ended, and draft chapters have been provided to Hubbardston officials for review. Then we go on to number 14, EEA Planning Assistance Grant. Acronym PAG for FY21. We have lots of acronyms. Athol, $40,000 to use mapping and recommendations. And again, a status report on that. Hubbardston, $18,000 to develop implementation elements for their master plan. Sterling, $40,000 to develop the following master plan chapters: historic cultural resources, Services and Facilities and Land Use. And in 15, the Lancaster Hazard Mitigation Plan. And then we go to Community Development Division. Reports concerning the Community Development Block Grant can be found above under section 4.3. Okay, I didn't catch the comma. Massachusetts Enterprise Center. Reports concerning the Massachusetts Enterprise Center can be found above under section 4.4. Well, if I have no questions from this one, I'll move on to transit. Now, MRP staff is working on the following project. Supportive Transportation Planning Operations, referred to as 3C, that's been an ongoing. Orange, MARTA's administrator, Mohammed Khan has formed, oh, yes, Mom. If nobody's aware of it, Mohammed Khan has formally retired as of July 9th. I guess had a retirement party. And Bruno Fisher was named as the interim administrator. A job posting is open until August. Now, Bruno Fisher would be the guy to get a hold of if you have any concerns about your bus routes in your town or wanting a bus route or how the MART works. He's the guy to go to, Bruno Fisher now. Lancaster, staff continues to discuss public transit services, extensions to the new housing. Public meetings, staff met virtually with Massachusetts planning organizations on July 21st. Now, just under that area, talking about the bus routes and the MART, and I know in Winchendon we have a bus route that does a half loop, and we're going to send a letter to or an email to Bruno Fisher asking if they can study it and see if we might be making a complete loop from Gardner City Hall through Baldwinsville to Winchendon and back to the college and to the hospital. So those are the things that the MRPC can also help with, because those are a lot of times they work together, the MART and the MRPC. Technical assistance to the MART, provide technical planning services and assistance to the Massachusetts Regional Transportation Authority. Air Depot Square Pedestrian Plaza. Shirley Station Commuter Parking. MART Operations Manager Meeting. Yeah, here, a little note, MART has restored all of their transit routes, with the exception of the Littleton Shuttle. Route 11, as it services to Great Wolf Lodge in West Fitchburg, is the last service to come back online. So that's one good sign that things will never get back to the old normal, but get back to a new normal. And their fare collection system, MRP staff is working again with the MART on that. Devon Shuttle, MART staff will be meeting with the Devon's Enterprise Group. So these are the groups that can get together, and MART can meet with them, and with the assistance of the MRPC can look at the routes and maybe do a new route with our GSI department, or however they do it. I don't want to. MART staffing will be meeting with Littleton to discuss the possibility expansion of the Littleton Westford shuttle. And for any of these or any of the things to get referred over to MART, I'll contact Brad Harris, because now he's our transportation projects director. And he can give you the information and the skinny on how to do it. Okay, 5.4, again, transportation. A little different here. This is the Massachusetts Joint Transportation Committee, the MJTC. The MJTC did meet in July, and the next MJTC will be held on Wednesday, August 11th at 2:30 if anybody wants to listen in. This is the beginning of the new year. I just want to make sure I didn't skip here. Athol, Hubbardson, we got, I'm sorry, went back a page. we go. Then we move on to, now we're getting near the end, the Montechusett Metropolitan Planning Organization, the MPO. The Montechusett MPO met on Wednesday. Is that July 21st? Did they meet or was that meeting canceled? Do you know, Brad?
They did meet.
Okay, they did meet. Oh, I thought it was canceled. Okay. Unified Planning Works Program, FFY 2021. And support of 3C, program to provide assistance with various meetings and activities with communities. Staff attended various meetings during the month, including Transportation Managers Meeting, North Tier Railroad Study Kickoff Meeting, RPA Data Use Group Meetings, MRPC meeting on the 15th, and the MBO meeting on the 21st. Okay, then we go to environmental and design feasibility study for new interchange on Route 2 at South Athol. This planning group will fund the procuring of a consultant to examine the environmental and physical impacts related to the implementation of the new interchange. And the Montechusett Regional Climate Vulnerability Assessment and Climate Change Resilience Plan. This planning grant will seek to hire a consultant to gather, review, and update any and all infrastructure climate vulnerability assessment within the Montechusett region. And 2, development of the TIP. Again, this is the start of a new year. Programs to develop the annual TIP. And the project lead staff on that is Brian Doherty and Brad Harris. And in your handout here, it lists the MPO reviewed, added, vote, endorsed adjustment number 1 to the FFY 2021 highway element. This adjustment is based on reduced cost changes to 2 federal targets. So these are 2 programs here that they have added. Garden reclamation and related work on Pearson Boulevard, and Winchton improvements related to work on Central Street. 3, GSI mapping and analysis. And it says anything in that refer to the GIS status report. Data collection and analysis program. Pavement management systems. Intersection analysis. Walkability studies. And the Fitchburg corridor study. Regional pedestrian planning. And the ADA Prowl Base. Bus stop ADA accessibility evaluation. And that brings us to the end of our status report. If anybody has any questions, please speak up. And also we are at new business. If anybody has any new business, any questions, please. I think Glenn or any of the staff would be glad to answer questions here. Well, if not, do you have anything to say, Glenn? Or anybody in the staff comments on anything?
I'll defer right now. So we have Brad in the room. Karen's at a meeting. Linda, Brad, do you have anything, sir?
Not at this time, no.
You're good. Linda Q? Gotta stop calling you Linda Q. You're the only Linda we have now.
Yeah.
That's right, Glenn. No, I'm good.
Okay, very
I'm all
good.
set. Thank you.
Karen's at a meeting. And Holly, did you have anything? Holly, without Holly, you know, these meetings wouldn't happen. Holly, did you have anything administrative for us or about the meetings? Are you good?
The only thing that I would add is Karen and Linda and I were talking earlier today. Please note that on the meetings that are on the 2nd of the month, Linda won't be able to get those, the cash schedule out 2 days ahead. It may come even the day of the meeting. just because of the amount of work she has to do to get that prepared. So I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So on that, Holly, can I make a segue for everybody? If you want to look at page 4, item 4.6.2. Brad's already going there, I know. Thanks, Brad. So September is September 2nd. There's a December 2nd. And there's a June 2nd. So based on that, and thank you, Holly and Linda, for talking about that earlier. Holly, thanks for mentioning that. Linda, did you want to add anything to that?
No, I was just going to also thank Holly for mentioning that. You know, it's just, you know, I can get it on the day of the meeting, or possibly the day before, but it's very tight when the Thursday is the 2nd of the month. The first is really difficult, but so we'll do our best to get it done.
I think the first is impossible. We talked about that. That's a really good point because you need the bank statements and you need time to do due diligence. So, and there isn't a vote on this tonight, but if the commissioners are willing to make a vote to move the 3 meetings of September, December, and June to the following Thursdays, which would be September 9, December 9, June 9, that'd be great. Or, well, actually, we'd have to get a vote on that, at least for the August meeting now. So if you want to do that, that's your call, Mr. Chairman, and the commissioners, that's up to you. But if we could wrap that up in one meeting, one vote tonight, that'd be lovely.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
My friend, I think that's a good
Yes.
idea. I really do. So I would make a motion that we move, if there's a second, I'd make a motion that we move the meetings that are on the 2nd of the month to the following Thursday.
I'll second that.
and that was Jacqueline Doherty?
Jackie? Yeah.
Yeah, Jackie Doherty. Okay, great. We have a motion and a second, and to move the meetings as they come that early on the 2nd to the 2nd Tuesday. Does anybody have any conflictions or dramatic conflictions on that? Well, especially for the September 2nd meeting. So, you know, that would be the meeting that would be most affected this. And if people find that it's a problem on future meetings, we can, you know, discuss doing something else. So any comments at all?
Mr.
If
Chairman?
not, I will call the roll.
Mr.
Yes.
Chairman, I just want to make one comment. I don't think we're going to get caught up in a time loop here because we'd be going from December 2nd, 2021 to January 6th, 2021. So I don't think we want to repeat this year over again. So the January through June.
No.
2022.
Absolutely. Thank
The
you.
draft, right, of the schedule, just a draft.
As long as we don't go back to 2020.
Okay. Oh, I hope not, you know, but it will never be like it, but, you know, we could be going back. Yeah, well, time will tell. Okay, if there's no other comment, I'll call the roll on this. To the motion, Alan Pease.
Aye.
Lynn Butland.
Yes.
Bill Leffigy.
Yes.
Jacqueline Doherty.
Yes.
Jeff Bennett.
Yes.
Jessica DeRoy.
Yes.
Laura Schifrin.
Yes.
And I don't know if he's got a speaker there, the MRPC Atrium, which is Mr. Schwartz, Bob Schwartz.
Bob's voting in the affirmative, right, Bob? He's nodding at me and thumbs up, and he just texted Holly.
Okay, very good. And I'm sorry I missed you on the other votes, Bob. Okay, Roger Hoyt.
Yes.
Sean Copeland.
Yes.
Stacy Doherty.
Donahue, yes.
Donahue, I'm sorry.
All
Small
right.
phone. And Guy Corbacero votes yes. So the next meeting will be moved from the 2nd to the 9th, if I'm not mistaken in my mathematics. Okay, very good. That's done. There's nothing else. One thing, Glenn, we had three great meetings, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Do you think you could just do a quick mention of those and the people involved?
Sure. So I went to Chris McDermott about 2 weeks ago when the notices of funding opportunity, the 7 NOFOs, came out or were published by the Federal Economic Development Administration. So everyone's aware, the EDA is under the Federal Department of Commerce. EDA is the only economic development department in the federal government. Because of the last $500 billion or so act that was passed for economic development, those sources of monies, those dollars, I promise not to be tongue-tied anymore. The dollars are flowing through EDA, through the 7 NOFOs, on a variety of topics. One is Build Back Better. It's going to be about infrastructure. The other one, another one, is about tourism, repairing the tourism economy as it stumbled through the economic downturn caused by the pandemic. Another one is economic adjustment assistance. That's mostly about planning and some pipe in the ground projects. MRPC pursues economic adjustment every 3 to 5 years. So there are a variety of funding opportunities. The message from EDA to us, we had a meeting with EDA today about 11 o'clock, us meaning all the regional planning agencies and councils of government in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Half of us at least are federally designated economic development districts. And a lot of this money is going to be targeted right toward the EDDs, the economic development districts, for planning and brick and mortar projects. What Deb Bevan said today, our EDA liaison, indicated you EDDs need to work together. All of you in Massachusetts, and if you have to cross state lines, do that. These funds are not really going to go to local communities for projects. They're going to filter down through regions because, and here's the real takeaway, and to Build Back Better, there are only about 25 to 50 awards that are going to be made nationwide, not by state, but nationwide. So basically what we're talking about is half of New England probably is going to get together through our economic development districts, or maybe all of New England EDDs. We'll have to go up against Detroit and Chicago and LA and the Port of San Francisco and Massport and so on and so forth. So we are trying to filter through these 7 notices of funding opportunity. The first application is due in September. We had a 60-day notice. We're now only at about 45 days. So we're all scurrying to get something that's valid and highly competitive proposed to the EDA. The meetings themselves were very good. We had Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We did a meeting on one day at 8 a.m. We did another meeting at noon. We did today's meeting. I guess today's was noon, yesterday's was 8 a.m., Tuesday's was 5 p.m. We had very good attendance at all the meetings. We had 7 to 8 parties at the first 2. We had about 5 today. Chambers of Commerce, legislative aides to our local senators and reps, a Chamber of Commerce or 2, local officials, state officials. So we had good participation. And we're all working right now. I thought we were all busy. I don't know how we're going to get through this, but we will, because we need to tap into these funds to jumpstart our tourism economy, help the manufacturing clusters that we have, do infrastructure projects, anything that we can do. In the hallways of the office, I call this full employment for planning and developers for the next 5 to 10 years. It is in a very intensive process right now. It's incredible. So it's not about getting money though. It's really about trying to get the economy back where it was before the pandemic. That's a quick summary, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much, Glenn. It was a very informative program, and hope people will attend in the future. I know Stacy Donahue attended the one that I did. Well, if we have nothing else on the schedule or no questions from anybody, I think it's time to adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everyone, for attending. And in the manner of our previous chairman, Vic, I call this meeting to adjournment. Thank you very much for everybody for attending. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Thanks. Good night.